everyone, and welcome to your weekly guidance reading. So this is for the week beginning the 24th of September, and there will be a full moon, I believe, this week towards the end of the week. So it'll be interesting to see how that impacts this week's reading. But let's start pulling cards. If you prefer to skip ahead to the messages, feel free to do so. Hopefully I'll remember to timestamp that, and I won't talk about the cards. I'll just pull them all first and then get into the messages following that. So for the collective weekly guidance reading, what is the collective energy, theme, or situation for the next 7 days? We have also entered Libra season as well. So the sun has exited Virgo season and we're now in Libra season. So we have strategy coming out as the first card, and we're going to pull one from this deck to clarify or add to that. Collective energy, theme, or situation this week. Okay, I'm just gonna continue to shuffle until we get one. All right. So the King of Air. What is the collective career path prediction or message for this week? So we'll take those two together. So that shuffle was interesting. I'm shuffling now for financial prediction or financial message for this week, and it took me a few goes to get a nice clean shuffle. So collective financial message or prediction this week for the next 7 days. Almost just dropped the entire deck then. Now we're going to get the prosperity message for the next 7 days. All right, now we're going to get cards for love messages for this week for singles, up in the air connections or situationships, as well as people in established connections. So the card that flashed over was the Star card, and what's really interesting about that is that the Star card, I'm quite sure, came out last week for the singles or somewhere in the love reading, and I think I even spoke about it being a bit of like a collective energy no matter what group you were a part of, but yeah, just an interesting little synchronicity there. All right, so singles love prediction for this week. We have mental conflict, up in the air connections or situationships, love message this week. Emotional loss, and for people in relationships, personal and spiritual growth message for the week. Number 2, spirit guides and celestite. So the spirit animal that's most heavily influencing and guiding the collective over the next week, and its message. The raven. Significant or notable day for the next week. We have Saturn or Saturday. Okay, so I have the Angel Answers deck to do our little question part at the end, and depending on how long I talk for, I've also got the charms next to me because I thought we could do a little fun, almost like I Spy. We could pull some charms and you could play a little bit of a game this week to have some fun and see which signs you spot over the course of the next week. But we'll see how long the reading goes for, because I've got a couple of private readings still to do today and I've got to be mindful of the time. But yeah, for now, let's get straight into your reading. So strategy with the King of Air here is super interesting because the King of Air is very strategic. He is very intelligent and intellectual, has a really great mind. And this is almost like, you know, this week would be a good week to put some plans in place or to start strategizing towards something in your life. It would be a good week to like commit to anything that involves sort of like self-discipline. Like you may find it easier to commit to say like diets this week, or easier to commit to certain routines or exercise, that kind of thing. The King of Air is also very like balanced, you know, mentally and emotionally and even spiritually, very balanced. So you may be sort of thinking quite clearly, communicating quite clearly, and from a more balanced place this week. It would make sense because when we're in Virgo season, we're often very much in our heads. And it's like this week, there's going to be some more balance coming into your energy. And I think it's a good week to sort of like make plans, particularly long-term plans, perhaps. Some of you could be strategizing with this King of Air energy. So like a partner, friend, business, mentor, you know, making plans of some kind with another person. That's definitely a possibility. Excuse me, I'm going to have a quick sip of my tea. Anything else coming through to me there? We could take it very literal. It says journaling on this card. So it's like writing things down is going to be a really good way to manifest and cast your intentions. Even though there's a full moon coming up, you know, maybe this full moon is particularly good for attracting and manifesting. So, you know, this week's a good week to journal, write things down, you know, write affirmations, write down the things you want to see coming into fruition as if they're already here, like list them down, list everything you're grateful for. It could be a very good week for that. Like the energies are very supportive. But yeah, it's a very good time, or very advantageous time to like strategize and make plans, especially towards your goals. So short-term and long-term goals, you know, creating certain structures or certain routines in your life to support them. Yeah, just being very sort of, I guess, like logical and mature about your plans. And then it seems like the energies are supporting a more disciplined version of you that can commit to those plans and routines and structures. So clarity is the word of the week. You know, you're going to be feeling a lot more clarity, and that will sort of ripple effect or have a ripple effect and be a positive ripple effect on many different parts of you. But let's move forward now into career path messages. So we have two cards that flipped out here. The Five of Scrolls, diversity, and the Two of Scrolls, two worlds, and they're both in the reverse position. We do have 222, I'm noticing. We also have 2 and 1 makes 3, and then we have a 33 here. So 333 and 222 are some number synchronicities I'm seeing right off the bat. Sorry, I just heard someone yell before, so I just paused to see what it was, but it stopped. So yeah, career path. So 5 of Scrolls in reverse, 2 of Scrolls in reverse. So the scrolls are definitely very like pentacles type energy. But yes, the scrolls. See, maybe I did just hear someone yell. Now there's sirens. Interesting. God, so many distractions. Maybe you're going to be feeling very distracted in terms of career path this week. But yeah, the 5 of Scrolls in reverse, this can kind of be a card of like, you know, being scattered among too many different things, or being confused about sort of which direction or which path is best to take. So you could be sort of like, and yeah, with two worlds, like in between worlds, like it could either be, there's two kind of ways I can interpret this, it's like either being in two different worlds, as in like, you know, some days you're going to be really happy and content and optimistic about where you are and where you're going, and then other days you might be like in a little bit more of a negative headspace. So you may be like going back and forth on different ends of the spectrum in that type of sense. And, you know, that kind of is making me think of the scales that represent Libra season, is like going one way, then going the other, and kind of like juggling between the two. Or it could be that you're trying to juggle yourself between two jobs or two roles in your life, and it's getting a little bit overwhelming over the next week. And then it could be like tossing up as to whether to leave a certain role or company or career path to pursue something different. So actually there's three ways I could see that then. So it could be like mood wise, and the way that you're, you know, seeing and perceiving your current situation could be, you know, swinging from one end of the spectrum to the other. It could be that you're spreading yourself thin among different jobs and different roles and responsibilities and getting overwhelmed. Or it could be that you're trying to decide on a career path this week, but there's this like juggling energy going on. I think that the guidance for those of you, well, let me try and make it more general. So the guidance that's kind of coming through, and apply it how it would resonate for your situation, but it feels like it kind of feels as though this is a time to sort of like, is there a higher calling? Is there a higher path? Is there a more fulfilling path? Like, what's your soul calling for you to do? Like, this would be maybe a time to make intuitive decisions, or just reflect on the situation from an intuitive place. Yeah, it feels like sort of, you know, balance your logic, you know, your logic, intellectual side with your spiritual side, and try to take the practical steps and the logical steps that are going to further you on the path towards your goals or your dreams, or whatever you may be contemplating. Hopefully that made sense. For me, it didn't feel like it was like super flowy, so hopefully the message still got through. All right, so the money message is the Seven of Earth. I feel like this is another card that maybe we saw last week, and now I'm seeing 2 7s, so 7 7, and actually those two cards make 7 as well, and 5 2 7. Wow. Okay, so lots of synchronicities, especially with numbers: 2 2 2, 3 3 3, 7 7 7. 25 25 I just heard as well. So keep an eye out for those numbers. But yeah, the Seven of Earth, this is really a card of like, you know, not a lot coming in, but not a lot going out either type of thing. Maybe just being patient. You know, maybe it's like, excuse me, one second. It could be about being patient with financial decisions. So whether it comes down to like purchases and, you know, just reconsidering if you really need that thing, or if you really need to spend that much, you know, right now there may be a better time in the future, like it may go on sale soon, or you just may have more money soon. It feels like, you know, just assess all purchases and just be careful, and maybe postpone if you can, to give yourself some time to reconsider or just to wait for a better time. With the word investment there, some of you may be making investments, whether it's just, you know, trying to save some money or investing it into something, you know, whether it's crypto or stocks or anything. But it also feels like I'm really, really drawn to this angel and the stars that are kind of like coming this way. It really feels like, you know, money affirmations, intentions surrounding money, you know, planting money seeds, or like planting money trees even. Like if you can get your hands on a money tree, I think that's a thing. Or even just like plant pretend seeds of money and then water it every day. Like there's something to do here about like combining, you know, the spiritual side of things with something practical. So like plant a tree and set the intention that as the tree or the plant grows, so does your income, or something like that. It feels like there's like angelic assistance around you. And if you can like think positively, try to keep your positive mindset about what you're trying to create and grow, it feels like, you know, the cosmos or the angels are on your side helping to bring it to fruition. It may take a little bit of time to show up in your material world, but the seeds you plant and the intentions that you set, you know, bringing some like spirituality and magic, if you wish, to it, is going to pay off. I think that's about all I'm getting from that card. So we're going to go to the Chaos and Conflict card, which we're going to read from the book. It would help if I picked up the right book. All right. So 33. So we are going to read the protection message because it's in the reverse. And I'll start with that one. And then I might read the prosperity message as well, just because it may still be beneficial. But the actual message, it says, this is an advantageous moment to restore order and recognize the opportunity for negotiation. Even in the seeming chaos, there is a kind of divine order, a complete resorting of elements. This is powerful. If your intention is to find the best solution for the highest good of all, there is positive news. The timing is perfect. Things are already stirred up, so don't be afraid to jump into the mix. You'll discover everything you need to know about how this situation affects you long term. Be present in the eye of the chaos. This moment is valuable. Don't waste it. So it's quite a strong message there, actually. And we're also just going to read the prosperity message because that's sort of the intention that we set when we shuffle, and it may still be helpful. It says, circumstances appear to be chaotic, but everything that is happening now is in truth, shaking things up so you can find the real path to your prosperity. Yes. Yes, it's yes. Yes, it's a stormy time, and it feels as if there are opposing forces wherever you turn. Be reassured that there is divine purpose in this chaos. Everything that doesn't work is being taken from you, so the truest parts of yourself remain. The events occurring now are essential for your ultimate prosperity. This chaos is divinely inspired, even though it doesn't appear that way now. In time, you'll know this to be true. So that kind of definitely, in an intuitive sense, this card is definitely telling you that it's not the time to just like splurge on unnecessary things, because you're going to add more chaos and conflict to your finances. But then it also relates to the career path message in a different way, and about how it may feel a little bit chaotic, you know, but there's divine purpose in everything, and you're going to understand that in time. But yeah, so let's go into love now. So starting with the singles, we have mental conflict. So this card is obviously like this person's very much in their head. We can see that in the sort of the artwork and the, yeah, like how, why am I over explaining that? I think the energy of this card's making me get into my head and over explain, overthink. So it's definitely like a week of maybe overthinking, getting stuck in your head. It may be difficult to maintain like a positive mindset this week. Like if you've been trying to find love and you haven't been, maybe you're going to be a little bit like, you know, annoyed or doubtful. It can also be a card of like being indecisive. You could be going back and forth about someone, or be stuck in your head about someone. So it'd be a really good time to try to like, yeah, just get out of your head. And if you're being indecisive about anything, this would be a good week to maybe find balance and make a final decision. We might get some tarot cards and we'll just see if there's anything specific that wants to come through about the next 7 days, or if we can clarify anything. But yeah, it could be very in your head about someone, or just, you know, your love life in general. It could even be like an option and you're like trying to decide whether to give them a shot, whether not to. So what's going on for singles over the next 7 days, collectively speaking? Okay, so temperance, interestingly enough, is all about, you know, feeling more balanced and centered. So potentially this mental conflict energy, you're kind of starting to come out of it as the sun moves into Libra. This could be like a residual energy that's going to start to kind of like dissipate and fade away this week, because temperance would be like coming back to your center and finding a little bit more peace of mind, as opposed to being caught up in a mental conflict. So like water your own garden, tend to your own needs, a lot of self-love, and a lot of nature even would be helpful for you this week to sort of help you kind of find that centered energy again. Really fill your cup to assist that process. We have the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is about like celebration, social life, friends, like sisterhood / brotherhood. So it could be a good time to, you know, get outside, go out, whether it's to go have a drink with your friends, go have a meal, go to the beach, go for a hike. But it's a good time to not isolate. It's a good time to be around, you know, people you love. And it's also a good time to get out because it feels like people are really going to notice you and be attracted to you. And it's not just like a beauty thing, even though there is a lot of beauty coming through with the Temperance card, but it's like an energy thing as well. So like, say early in the week, focus on self-love and filling your cup. It's going to bring your aura into this beautiful, healthy, euphoric energy. And then, you know, maybe towards the end of the week, on the weekend, get outside, go out, do things, have fun with your friends, because it's like a favorable time. You're going to be like noticed. People are going to be drawn to you. And there could potentially be someone worth getting to know, or someone that you do connect with. Because that Three of Cups, like, it kind of looks like three people are trying to offer a cup to this lady up here. It's like, you know, more than one person are going to be interested in you. So the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles came out, and this feels like the Four of Pentacles is making me think of like you've been a workaholic, you've been in work mode for too long, and the Two of Pentacles can be about like bringing balance back to your material world. So maybe it's time to like put the tools away, metaphorically speaking, whether you work with tools or not, but like, you know, put the work away and have some fun. Bring some of that balance back into your life. Libra season is the perfect time to bring balance to where you haven't had balance. And look what's underneath the deck. Literally, Justice card. It's a perfect time to bring balance to where things haven't been balanced. So if you've been all work, no play, it's a good time to do some play. If you've been working really hard, you haven't been taking care of yourself and, you know, doing self-love, self-care, then it's about, you know, coming back home to your body and giving yourself those things. But yeah, a great week to fill your cup early in the week and then get out and have some fun later in the week. It's very favorable energy around you. And now let's move on to the people in situationships or like up in the air kind of connections. So we do have the Five of Cups here. So this is a card about loss. So the Five of Cups can be a time when you're grieving a loss, or you've like lost someone, recovering from a loss. Like in some way it seems like you're suffering. So whether you have ended something with someone or you do that this week, it could be a period where you are sort of grieving a little bit. Do your best to focus on all the good in your life and what you have to be grateful for. You know, remember joyous experiences as well. Like, try not to get completely caught in that energy, but also don't ignore your feelings or suppress or avoid your feelings, because that's not healthy. So take time to sit with yourself, but then again, do your best to bring balance or restore the balance by going to do something fun, being around your friends, you know, seeking support. Don't isolate, basically. Be around the people you care about. So that's like similar to the singles message, really. But yeah, it's really by healing and loving yourself and then letting go of the past that you'll be able to move forward. And if you don't fully disconnect, or you just kind of things are quiet or just not, you know, they're up in the air, it could be like a week where you're just feeling really alone and separate from this person rather than feeling like a connected unit. It feels like you're very separate. Maybe you're not speaking to each other. Maybe they go quiet, they go MIA, something along those lines. But for the majority of you, I think that some of you have made a decision to go your separate ways, kind of like how this card looks, you know, and you may be recovering and healing from that. We'll get some more cards. Let me have some more tea. Anything to clarify or add to this message? We have the moon. So yeah, the moon. I mean, really, you may be really in your feelings. You may be feeling quite emotional. You know, any emotions that have been hidden or suppressed may come up. The moon can be associated with like letting go, release. So again, you know, this moon, the full moon, could be influencing you and making you face the truth. Sometimes it can be like illuminating a truth and it's like, you know, I'm not happy. It's time to move on. It's time to face my fears and move on regardless. And even though she's standing in water, like there is a lot of emotion there, you know, she's still sturdy, you know, she's well above the water. She's not drowning, like, you know, she's okay. And I feel like that's the Libra influence, bringing sort of wisdom and higher knowing and self-love even into the equation. She actually looks very connected to the moon. So I definitely feel like this moon is having that, like this really strong impact in terms of like how it's influencing your perception. Libra is ruled by Venus. And then Venus is also moving direct as well, which is also maybe increasing your, you know, level of self-love and what you will and won't settle for. That's literally all that wants to come out. I think that is the entire message. So I'm going to stop. I'm not going to keep pushing. Oops. We'll leave it there. And we'll go into the relationships message. So this is the Seven of Cups, choose wisely. So this feels like in your relationship, you could be making some decisions together. So whether you, like this is the type of energy that could relate to, for example, you know, you or your partner get offered a job or a contract in another location, whether it's another city, another suburb, another country even, and it's like deciding whether to take that role and move, whether to stay put, whether to go this way, that way, or the other way, that kind of thing. It could be, you know, making major financial decisions. It could be making decisions about the future or a goal that you want to achieve together. But it feels like there's decisions that you're making together. Obviously, it's a week of choosing wisely, or you're advised to choose wisely. But just take the time to think it over, talk to each other, you know, analyze, consider all different possibilities, all different angles. You know, don't be hasty if there's pressure. Don't be influenced by other people. You know, a focused and wise decision is definitely going to be better than making a quick or emotional or desperate decision. So just take your time, talk it through. Even if there's a deadline, you know, if it's the right opportunity, they'll extend that deadline, or, you know, regardless, you're allowed to think about it. And then if you don't have the time to think about it, it could be that, you know, maybe they're pressuring you because they're hiding something, and that's why they want you to make a quick decision. They don't want you to look over everything. So maybe if it falls through because you took your time, then maybe that was your protection from the universe as well. So yeah, the relationship, no, like there's nothing really going on in the relationship. It seems like you guys are just sort of coming together to make decisions as a partnership or as a team or as a family. Is there anything that we can add to or clarify about that? So the Moon came up and the Knight of Cups came up. So there could definitely be like letting something go to pursue something new. Not as in new person, but for some of you, there could be like a romantic gesture coming from your partner, or this, whatever this is, may come to you, like come as news to you over the next week. It could be something that you can't see coming and it comes up this week and you start having these conversations this week. It could be something, you know, that your partner is quite invested in, or like, you know, their heart's really in it, whatever that is. But it feels like there's a romantic gesture or a surprise that leads to decisions being made. And a lot of it is like you don't know what it is at the moment, because the Moon is like things are hidden, and then maybe around the full moon is when it sort of comes to light. Underneath we also have the Queen of Cups. Oh, and under that is the Ace of Wands. Page of Cups. Oh, is someone pregnant and you're gonna tell your partner this week? I don't know why that came through. Or there could be like, you know, real romantic gestures. I'm gonna be quiet because I don't want to spoil any surprises out here. Let's put that away and move on. That's a collective energy, remember? So, you know, the surprise could be different and it could be at different levels for different partnerships. But there's a surprise. There could be a romantic gesture of sorts that leads to decisions. And that's where we're going to leave that part. So now let's move into personal and spiritual growth message for this week. So we have the Spirit Guides card. The crystal associated with this card is celestite. So you can work with it if you have it, or you can call on its energy to support, heal, guide you. But this is the message. Your guides are communicating with you now. Celestite helps you work with your higher chakras to enable you to communicate with your spirit guides. It brings calm and direction when you are in need. Your guides are always here no matter what the circumstance, and they are here to help you now. If we ever ask for help, it is always given. You also need to listen to hear their answers. Spirit sends messages in many ways. They can be very subtle, just like the color of the stone. Discover how Spirit communicates with you. Do you hear things? Do you just know things? You may see or smell certain things, or just receive images or words in your head. It is different for everyone, but the important thing for you is to trust in what you receive and how you receive it. In order for you to receive any information or help, you must also be open to receive. Take notice of whether you don't like to accept help when offered from people. Are you the kind of person who tends to just push through alone and never let on that you are in need of help? Are you skeptical of anything? How do you take a compliment? This may be an indication that you are not open to receive. Many people are good at giving, but not receiving. If you are the type to always give of yourself but feel drained a lot by all of your efforts, it may be time for you to open up to receiving. How do you do this? Say the affirmation until you firmly believe it. I am open to receiving. Allow yourself to receive from others. Allow the help that you ask for to be given to you. Spirit has much wisdom if we only allow ourselves to receive. So that's a really beautiful message. I also noticed that like these colors up here are very similar, and even like down here. So very connected, and I almost feel like whether it's a raven or a different bird, there could be a specific bird that maybe is like lives near your home or hangs around your home or something, and it's maybe protecting or communicating with you. But yeah, it feels like maybe birds are significant. Maybe one of your spirit guides takes the form of a bird when they are trying to speak with you, and then you're guided to kind of like, if you can, like sit and meditate, or just try to close your eyes and just receive the message and just trust what comes through. But we will read the raven from the book. So it says on the card, wise woman, a change is coming. And there's that wise energy of like Queen of Swords energy, which is Libra energy, once again coming through. So there's a lot of sort of astrological synchronicities in the reading, I'm noticing. Raven, number 28. A change is coming. The raven is a maverick flying between two worlds, heaven and earth, with the power to bridge the gap between them easily and help souls to cross over. The raven brings magic and rebirth, teaching us that there is more to this world than what our physical eyes see. She will hold your hand while facing the deeper shadows of your soul and support you while you soar high. The raven is accompanied by the triple moon goddess symbol. She represents wise grandmother energy, as well as the end of a cycle. She is your guide now through any transitions and challenges. Lilith, the goddess of the night, moves and works through the raven, a symbol of the shadows that need to be brought to the surface and healed. If a raven comes to you, you are on the cusp of a great change. It is time to revel in your soul's growth and dive into the mysteries of the divine feminine. Oh, very interesting. If you're interested, the crystal companions to this card and the raven are labradorite, opal, obsidian, and African jade. Very interesting. All right, so then I did touch on how Saturday is the card that came out for the notable or significant day of the week. But now we will do our question part. So this is a good time to pause. You can either ask a question to group 1 and a question to group 2, like 2 separate questions, or you can just think of one question and then think of either group 1 or 2, and we'll get an answer for you from the angels. So if you don't have a question just yet, pause now. What is the answer to group 1's question? What is the best answer to group 1's question? No. What is the best answer to group 2's question? So we have be assertive that flipped out. We also had unlikely flip over. And I'm trying to... It didn't come out of the deck, but for some reason I do feel like I'm meant to read it with that message. So let's... So group 1 is a hard no. It's not just no, it's no with an exclamation point. So it's like a big no. The response to your inquiry is a firm no. You needn't worry though, as you will see why this was the perfect answer as time goes by. And then group 2, I'm going to read unlikely first. The situation you have asked about is unlikely to occur as you are imagining it. There may be a different version of events that will take place. or it may be that what you've asked about is simply not in your highest, greatest good. Place your focus on an alternative possibility. Open your eyes to different opportunities. Be willing to experience a unique and more uplifting outcome than what you had planned for yourself. And then be assertive. This situation calls for you to take matters into your own hands. You must get clear on your personal feelings and then pursue the fulfillment of your desires with courage and self-confidence. Ask for what you need without watering down your request in order to satisfy others. Remember that seeing to your own needs is nothing to apologize for. Set boundaries with those around you in order to create a safe and fair environment. Tailor your actions so that you earn the respect from others you deserve and then move forward. So they are our answers. And let's do a few little charms, and this week you can see how many of these you find or come across or spot. Some of them are very random and we will just leave them, but then other things, there will be a message or something to come through. So what are our signs and synchronicities for the next 7 days? So we have an infinity symbol. We have knitting needles and yarn. We have an umbrella and it has a bow on it if we want to get real specific. We have a unicorn. I think it's a unicorn. I think that's a horn. So a unicorn. We have the flamingo. You could even take it one step further to look up the unicorn and the flamingo spirit animal meanings if you wanted to. We have a little smiley face that looks like this. We have a key with a cross on it. Oh, we also have a lock. So maybe you find a key to a missing lock, or you find a lock to a missing key, or maybe someone locks their keys in the car or in the house or forgets their keys. So a little note, be careful. I've had that message before and it has literally been for someone, and they contacted me and they were like, oh my God, you were right. I literally walked out of the house without my keys. And I was like, holy moly. But yeah, so there are our little signs and synchronicities, along with 222, 333, 777. But that's the end of today's reading, guys. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole thing. It's been quite a big one in the end. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, take care.